Hello YouTube! Today we're doing the M+ and raid guide for survival hunters in 10.2. I will be going through, this is the agenda for today, going through the tier set, what stats you want to use, overall gear and embellishment to aim for, the talents I use, some macros I use for my talents because there's different builds for it, some rotation tips for both M+ and raiding, and yeah, the talents will of course go through both M+ and single target, and where I usually read most of this stuff, so you also can get up to date on what's happening, because this guide might be outdated within 5 months. So who knows, maybe then you can figure out your own. But today I'm here to help you out in the beginning. So, tier sets. We have a new foret. I have obtained it. Fury of the Eagle increases you and your pet's critical strike chance by 15% and critical damage dealt by 15% for 12 seconds. Just flat out very much. You have a lot of crit. You can already now see that Fury of the Eagle is basically your best thing to do. You know, you do a lot of damage in a cone in front of you, and you get critical chance increased below 65%. That's a talent. And yeah, so that's a big part of this tier set. The foret will then throw a wildfire bomb while you're doing it, and causes your next wildfire bomb when you're done to occur no cooldown. So if I have 2 stacks here, you will still have 2 stacks after pressing it once with this foret. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Even more bombs, you know. Who would have known? Survival Hunter really loves our bombs. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I will go through later on how it affects us. But basically, Fury of the Eagle plays in both M+ and single target now. Before it was only M+, now it's both. Stat-wise, you want to aim for as much crit and haste as possible, and then fill it out with verse. Don't ever go mastery. It's crap. And I'm saying this while having a lot of mastery, but that's because I'm playing BM in my raid team. Otherwise I'm getting benched every other boss. It's not fun. So yeah, basically aim for, I would say the priority in the beginning when you're new is get as much haste as possible. Aim for this 30%. I believe that just makes the rotation smoother, because you want to have focus regen and kill command, and everything just goes. You can keep it up more easily. Crit, then I would say is second, even though it's very important. But for the smoothness of your rotation, I would say it's just, yeah, once you get more crit, you will deal more damage because everything revolves around you. We have a lot of crit stuff as hunters that affects us. So it's just flat out more damage. Everything will crit more, like your kill shot, it does more damage when you crit a lot because of, where is it? It's a talent for this, I believe. Anyway. So yeah, as much as crit and haste, and once you're starting to reach just slightly above these caps, I would say then fill it out with as much verse as possible. It's just flat out damage. It's pretty simple. But never have haste. Don't be like me here. I've tried, but the thing is I need to then recraft like my rings, and I'm not allowed to do that now, I would say. I will definitely aim for it in the future. I'm hoping to pump a lot with survival, but for now this is what it is. Gear. There is of course a lot of gears to obtain, a lot of trinkets, a lot of weapons. First thing I want to note is aim for having foret without helmet, because the helmet gives a lot of mastery and you don't want that. So aim for getting shoulders, chest, gloves and legs. Once you have that, that's of course the baseline. You want to aim for, like, you know, have this crit haste belt. This is a good helmet I got the other week. You know, instead of having a mastery, I get a lot of haste and crit. And then, for simplicity, I like to have both ringbound hourglass and titanic signet, and just craft it for whatever stats I need. So I would recommend that. And then trinkets, and an interesting part. There's a lot of trinkets, and I would say Blood Mallet is a good webpage to look for. But let's go through in general. I would say we can take it here. Mirror is a good overall trinket for both M+ and Raid. It's just blasting, you know. Serpent is good for a single target, but it lacks a little bit in AoE, so it's not the best. But if you look at, for example, Murloc, which is a very good webpage, I highly recommend it. You can see that a lot of people are actually going, for example, accelerating Sandglass. That's also a very nice one. Talisman is a good for at least tyrannical. With the you get auto attacks, you deal extra physical damage, and this is a lot of haste. But also Bandolier, pretty good one. I highly recommend that one. And you can see here, like, if you go and see 5 targets, you can see it's pretty high up. But also stuff like Pips is good, and Witherbark. I think Witherbark is I don't know really. I would prefer Bandolier, and for single target, I would say M+ is done. Cataclysmic Signet is like Biz, super Biz. If you look here, you can see that we have just a huge increase compared to every other trinket. And then Talisman or Bandolier is a good one. Coiled is a pretty good one. You know, there's a lot of good ones. You can play around, but as always, you have to sim yourself. It's hard to say it, but you have to try and, like, see what works best for you. If you want, leave a comment. I could definitely do a guide for how to sim your character properly if you want. But I'm sure if you already search for it, there are probably tons of guides for it. But if you want, I can do it. Other than that, trinkets, of course, it's a big part. But then your weapon, you want this. This is the Biz weapon for sure. This is from Fyrak in the raid, the last boss. It has good stats, no mastery, and you have the equip thing, which is just amazing. I mean, it's similar to our last tier when that was not the right raid. When we had the Rashok, this was similar. Like, it's just blasting when you have an equip or use thing. Like, it goes above everything else, I would say. So definitely aim to try to kill Fyrak at any level, like LFR, a normal, heroic, like, or of course mythic if you're a big blaster. I think it's I haven't simmed it properly in like lower levels, but I think a normal version of this is better than like a heroic version of another weapon. I know Dawn of the Infinite has pretty good polearm. Yeah, this one. This is also a good one. Just haste and verse, similar stats. But I would say if you get the Fyrak weapon, just stick with it. It's gonna last forever and it's gonna be a Biz. For sure. I would say that was gear. Oh yeah, embellishment. I have, note again, I'm playing BM a lot, so I have the wrong embellishment. But I would say get one Shadow Flame. I'm planning to upgrade this one later on. It's just good for us. But then this season, actually, Lariat is now a big one. So I'm planning to take this one as well later on. as my second embellishment. Right now I'm not having any of those, and I need to have blue silk linen, and I'm planning to craft bracers. That's also, I mean, you could note if you want to switch between specs, the bracers that they give like an extra thingy is pretty good, because it's decent in all specs. So if you want that, I mean, yeah, sure. But over time you will have enough sparks so you can craft like whatever you want, and you know, it's still very early in the season. We're like 2-3 weeks in, so yeah. Talents. Let's start with M+. This is my current M+ build. This is for fortified. And you can see I like coordinated assault because I just think the kill shot thingy is so fun. You get a lot of like bursty damage compared to like a flat damage profile. I like seeing the damage meters go high, like during a short while. I like that more than having like a flat good damage profile. And overall wise, you can go several builds, of course, but I just enjoy this one. I do one slight difference between fortified and tyrannical weeks. Now I'm using this one, 1 point. You just flat out more bomb damage, which is good. But if you want, you can also go Mongo's Bite on tyrannical weeks, because I would say this one outperforms during tyrannical, because you just, it's so good in single target, so it's hard to pass it up. Last season it was a different thing. Like I actually went this all the time and never went Mongoose, because it makes it easier, I can say that. But right now I would say, seeing from the sims and everything, Mongoose Bite is, yeah, pretty good. So tyrannical weeks go Mongoose, tactical advantage on fortified. You can also argue if you want to have this one or this one. This one you have to, you know, like disengage out and then grapple yourself or harpoon yourself back, and because with this you get focus. But for simplicity I would say just go with this one instead. Any other talent builds, I would say just go to Wowhead. They have a lot. Just, you know, look here. We have the single target, and you have the trap build, and the no CD build, and you know, spearhead build. There's a lot of builds here. Just, I would say everyone is similar, so just try it out. If you like the spearhead, for example, just go for it. But I personally just enjoy the normal coordinated assault build. Yes, for a single target, it's similar. We just switch up a bit. You know, you want to have Mongoose Bite, of course. I have more points in this because you can. You get a little points in this, and then you switch out Birds of Prey to Bombardier, more bombs instead. And here's a new thing that changes for this season. We use Steel Trap now, and space, it is what it is. You throw down a, of course, you throw down a trap, 20 seconds. It does damage, and it's a bleed, and just pass it up and like do it, and it's gonna do damage. It seems good this season. That was that. And now, since we're talking about this coordinate, since I'm using coordinated assault build, I'm also planning to show you. Wait 1 second. This game is so bad with this sometimes. I want to show you some macros that I use, because that is one thing you have to just accept. When you're playing the coordinated assault build, you need some macros to have everything work. And that is, with the coordinated assault, you have different, you know, if you really, you have you like infuse through your pet, and it increases Every time it does its pet attack, it increases the damage of either your bomb or kill shot. The thing is, kill shot is always the better choice, and you don't want to like mistakenly empower your bombs. You always want to empower your kill shot. That's why you have macros to control your pet attack. So what I do is I have one macro within my coordinated assault where I turn off petautocast all the types of pet attack that you can have for every pet. So Bloody Screech, Claw, and Bite and Smack is the one you have, I think, for every pet. You can see like the one that is purple is the one that I have for this pet, because I have a duck here. So I turn that off, and then I use my potion, then I use trinket and blood fury, and then I use coordinated assault. So once you've pressed that, you don't have any pet attack active. Instead, the next macro that I then have is for my kill shot. I cast, not turn it on, so it automatically does it. I cast one of them. So it will do it once and then wait for the next command to do it again. And this ensures that every time that I use coordinated assault, if you also check here, you can see I have a small timer for my pet attack. So now it's not working, and then I have, boom, now it used it. And now I have the bleed on top of the target. Now it's up again, and I have that one, boom, I have a second bleed. And now again it's coming up, boom, I have a third bleed. I was too slow, so I don't have the fourth one. But you see what I mean, like you always ensure that the pet attack empowers your kill shot by this. So I highly recommend just copy paste my macros. I hope right now I can enlarge this on the screen so you can easily see it. But yeah, copy this one and this one, and you're good to go. Other than that, there's one extra thing which I've added, and that is with my mount, because then I think you might have realized now that let's do like this. Since you turned off your pet auto attack, you want to turn it on again. So any button really that you don't use on your rotation, just add it within your button. So I, for example, have a mount macro that mounts different mounts depending on where I am. So now I mount that one, and within this I then have, you see, petautocast on, Bloody Screech, Claw, Bite, and Smack. So just when you're done, I then press my mount button. I will not mount since I'm in combat, so it's just a dead button for me. Because you want the extra damage, of course, within the when you're not using coordinated assault. That was the macros. Now we're going to rotation, and here I would say the overall rule for M+ is always bombs are always important. We'll not have bombs to use butchery and stuff like that. But then, of course, you have a lot of small cooldowns, such as you have explosive shot, you have the Fury of the Eagle, which is very good for your, the tier set that we talked about. And you have Death Chakram, which is just 10% flat damage, very good. You have Flanking Strike, and then Raptor Strike. Yeah. So basically, Raptor Strike, let's start with the basic. Don't use it unless you have used everything else beforehand. And then bombs is super important. Use butchery to, renew your bombs, use new bombs, and then spend whatever extra focus you have on Raptor Strike, and use kill command to uphold all the buffs that it gives. But then, of course, there's this combo that I like, and the best combo I found is that you want to use the explosive shot into Death Chakram into Fury of the Eagle. to have a really explosive 45-second burst. Every 45 seconds you get a lot of burst with this combo, because explosive shot takes 3 seconds to cast. And then if you use that one, Death Chakram, afterwards, it will get the benefit of Death Chakram. The same applies to Fear of the Eagle without the extra crit buff that it gives with the 2 set. You get extra crit chance and extra crit damage. So a nice combo is Explosive Shot, Death Chakram into Fear of the Eagle. That just blast, and then you have of course a lot of bombs. And once you're done with that, I then like to do my coordinated assault afterwards, because you're still having the crit buff, so you can apply at least 2 explosive shots with it, and then continue on. I've tried to see if I can combine it better with, so the first kill shot is also like if you can squeeze in basically 3 empowered kill shots, but I feel that you're missing out on then the buff from explosive shot being empowered by everything. So I like to just do this combo before, like explosive shot, chakram, Fear of the Eagle, use up all my bombs, so I'm like basically a bit dry on my rotation, and once I'm done with that, then start going into my coordinated assault window with, you know, the macros and everything. And I mean, you can see my damage I'm doing now. I've been doing this for over a minute, and I'm still above 400k DPS. And after that, I would say just use everything on cooldown, because you have, of course, a cooldown reduction on this one with kill command, and you want to use bombs as best as possible. And then, so it's not always that you line up this one, but I would say in M+, it's kind of automatic does it, because you have dead windows where you're running to the next pack, and then this combo always comes up at least once for every pack, I would say, which is very nice. But yeah, don't worry about your focus. You will have way too much focus all the time. So just focus on bombs, kill command, and when you've used everything else and you're kind of dry, then you can start pumping like Raptor Strike and Flanking Strike and stuff like that. And that kind of implies to single target as well. So if you go back to single target, the only difference here is you don't have the same combo with come on. Let's see. I need to wait for my cooldowns. But you have the same priority, of course. Bombs is always important, and now you don't have butchery, so you have kill command, and then Death Chakram is always important. You have the trap. Same applies to coordinated assault. You want to use that window. But then you have this little spell that's called Mongoose Bite, which is a thing of its own, I would say. So, as you know, it stacks up, and it does increasing damage, but it never applies it. So you have 13 seconds to basically max it up, and then once you're done, you have to ramp it up again. So it's very rampy spec, this. So a general rule I like to apply is once you have starting to get at least 3 stacks, you should commit to it, because you want to do as much 5 stacks Mongoose Bites as possible. And then basically bombs then becomes a little bit less important. So once you're up here now at 5 stacks, I don't want to use my bomb. I want to squeeze on 1 extra Mongoose Bite instead of bomb. And then try to, for example, if you want, but now I have a lot of, let's make a scenario where you get 3 or 4 stacks pretty quickly, you have a lot of focus, then you get Death Chakram and Fear of the Eagle. So let's say boom, I have 1, 2, 3, now I use Death Chakram and this one. I want to spend my bombs just to remove them. But then here now I have empowered extra... why can't I talk to him? I have the crit buff and everything, and I have Dex Chakram, and I have high stacks of Mongoose Bite. Then you just want to fully blast Mongoose Bite. Totally. So yeah, I know it's a lot, but basically I think you get the hang of it once you start playing it. Like once you fall into the rhythm of where to press and what, you can just feel it in the spec, I would say. But bombs are always important. Kill command is important to use because it reduces cooldowns for a lot of stuff. Flanking strategy is good. Get focus. I like to save that for when I have used like a few stacks of Mongoose Bite. And then now I get extra focus to pump up 2 stacks. Like, never waste your focus in single target, because here we're kind of starved with it otherwise. It's not like in AoE. And then use your, the coordinated assault as I used with macros and Death Shackle on cooldown and your trinkets, and hopefully you should be blasting. I think that was it. As a last side note, of course, I use a lot of wave pitches, but basically I use Wolfhead for a lot. I use Murloc to see what people are using. This one is, I would say, most updated because it takes raw data from top players, which I really like. It's like raw statistics, so you have to figure it out yourself, but then you can kind of see the trend. Like you see here, like almost everyone is just stacking tons of haste and crit and verse, and then no mastery, and yeah, that's what you should go. Icy Vein is also pretty good, and I would say if you're ever unsure, see that at least one or Wolfhead and Icy Veins are the same, then I would say yeah, then it's a good recommendation from them. If it's different, I would say lean more to Murloc and Blood Mallet to see more the raw data and make up your own mind. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. I know it's a bit long, but I wanted to go through both raiding and M+ to get you on the track to be a great survival hunter, because as I have on my details, bring back survival. I'm missing the glory days of survival, but I still think it's one of the most funniest spec in the game. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next one. I'll keep posting a lot of keys and maybe some raid videos. You comment, tell me what you want to see for more survival stuff. But I will be blasting, and I hope you are too. Subscribe, comment, and like, and see you for more videos in the future. Bye bye.